This October, Paramount Plus presents Peak Screaming. If you adopt this orphan, you will scream. If you go on this camping trip, you will scream. If you party with these teenagers, you will scream. If this is your priest, if these are your friends, if they are your classmates, you will scream.
Scary equals...
Stream the collection, Paramount Plus. Scream. I mean stream now.
The NFL is in full swing, and sports fans can win big at DraftKings Sportsbook.
All new customers sign up at DraftKings Sportsbook using promo code SMOKE. Bet $5 on any football team to win and receive an additional $200 in free bets if your bet hits.
You can also win big by creating your very own same-game parlay. Combine multiple bets from the same game and get a shot at a big payday.
You heard that right. New customers who bet at least $5 on any football team to win this weekend will get an additional $200 in free bets if your bet hits.
DraftKings has been around for a while, so you know your funds are safe and can be withdrawn whenever, wherever you want.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code SMOKE and receive $200 in free bets if their bet hits after placing a $5 pregame football wager. That's promo code SMOKE only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Welcome back, All the Smoke. Summer League 2022 coming to you live from the Legend Suite in the Wynn.
Yeah, Las Vegas boys.
We here. Introduce our next, because what y'all been doing before the cameras came on, I'm mad the cameras weren't on. Introduce your man.
I was my real brother, man. Somebody I hate for real in real life, real time. Wish everything bad had happened to him and only him. No success in his life has ever come in his way, and I'm happy to say that. Now, my real brother, somebody who I'm proud of to see what he's doing in the HBCU space. We did some great things together and hung out the whole time of my NBA career, and somebody who I really love as a real brother, Bonzi Wells.
Welcome, bro.
Welcome to the show, dog.
Welcome.
Thanks for I ain't shaking your hand. I shook your hand about 10 times already today.
When Jack was on O Block, what'd you say?
I was kind of hoping that he got robbed. But it was all love, though. Man.
It was all love, though. I almost spit my drink out when he said that shit.
If y'all can hear the conversations and the back and forth we have, I think if we could just we're going to have to start going on Twitch and
just live streaming everything.
Dog.
These motherfuckers.
What we do in that game is classic.
Man, welcome, Bonzi. Long overdue.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it, man. You had a great idea that you said came together in 5 weeks. You put on the first ever HBCU Combine at this year's Summer League. Talk to us how that came about and who helped you put that vision together.
When I first got the job at HBCU at Lemoyne Owen College, I told myself I want to do everything I can to help it. Especially once I got there, met the people, and saw how it really goes down. And, I actually attended the NBA Combine in Chicago this year and met some great people there, networking. I met this guy named Brooks, and we just got to hitting it off talking. And he told me he had an idea that he wanted to run by me. And I said, I had some stuff too. Ended up coming, we was on the same page about doing a showcase for the kids to be able to, take the HBCU kids who don't get recruited, don't get looked at, who just have careers and just kind of just try to make it somewhere, to really give them an opportunity to be recruited and looked at by pro personnel. So this is about whenever the Combine was, 5-6 weeks ago, and it became an idea, and then the momentum started going, and he asked me, could I find some coaches and that's HBCU NBA lineage that could come through and help us. So I called Kenny Anderson, I called Mo Williams, and I called Reggie Thiz. Immediately jumped on board. We put our heads together, and we had our first one yesterday. And just to see it, come together, bring in 30 young fellas that's chasing the dream, just like us. We're all parents, so you see that the sun in them.
Right.
So it just felt good. I got kind of emotional because we know the grind, we know how it is. So it just felt good to be a part of it, and just to be a part of HBCU's culture, period.
Head coach at Lemoyne Owen, how did that opportunity come about, and how's it going over there?
Well, with this fool over here, Stack, we support each other and everything. I know we play around, but we got a serious side to us where we support each other and everything we do. And a few years back, the Allen Iverson Classic came about and came to us a couple years ago, and You know, we had our podcast, Let's Get Technical, me and my brother Rasheed Wallace, and, you know, you guys got your wonderful podcast. And, you know, when Ivo and the people came to us to have like a battle against, you know, our pod against y'all, and we got the All-Americans during the pandemic, it was just a great move. And, you know, obviously you didn't get to attend, but, you know, I don't want to put you on, throw you on the bus, but honestly, you know, when we got there, we didn't know what we was going to really see.
See, he's just like you now.
No,
okay with it. He gonna throw slick shit on you.
Honestly, we didn't know what we was going to see. And when we walked into the gym with, you know, we had Chet, we had Paolo, we had all the first-round kids that basically got drafted this year, you know, on our teams. And when we walked in, we saw all the NBA personnel and all these agents and everybody kind of in there. And we had a real practice. Like, we went, you know, we don't be fucking around, you know what I'm saying? We don't got no time. Like, once you get in that rectangle, if you ain't hooping for real, you know, you got to get the fuck about the gym. You know, that's kind of the motto. So they saw how we was kind of handling them kids, and we don't give a fuck about All-Americans and all that shit. You know, we done did that. They just kids to us, you know what I mean? So we handle them as such, and people was coming to us like, yo, what you doing now? Me and Sheed, and we like, yo, we just kind of volunteer high school coaches because, you know, we just volunteer our time for kids and do whatever we can. Didn't want to really get locked into anything. So people was just saying, I need to do more. You can be a college coach. And about a month later, a guy called me and was like, hey, I got an HBCU opportunity. Would you like to, you know, spearhead the movement? You know, you see what Deion's doing and you see what, you know, kind of the way it's going. Would you like to do it? So, you know, I was nervous, didn't know how to even answer it. So I just, you know, talked to God, prayed on it, and just, you know, let him just take my heart. And I woke up the next morning and Lemoyne College was on my heart. Called him, told him I'm going to do it. And I just been, you know, just taking it day for day, you know, because I didn't know if I was strong enough to be a leader, a man like that, and a leader of this thing. But, you know, God, you know, kept me around for a reason, and I'm just thankful that I got this opportunity to be the person.
I mean, that's beautiful. Obviously, Deion's made such a big impact at Jackson State, and you got Mo Williams over there now, what you're doing. You said Kenny Anderson.
Yeah.
There's enough people out there to continue to bring attention and opportunity, and we want to salute you, obviously, typically for, you know, being kind of the brain behind this combine idea. So, you know, best of luck to them young fellas out there, man, in your journey.
Born and raised in Muncie, but nobody know you. You probably the most least famous person to ever come from out of there. So let's talk about your upbringing.
Man, you know, Indiana, you know, if you know Indiana, Indiana's a basketball state. I was raised old school, you know, in basketball. You know, we had blue-collar town. A lot of our people either, honestly, they just sell dope or they work in a factory. And that's kind of what it is where I'm from. So we kind of either blue-collar. My dad was the one who worked in a factory. So I was blessed to, you know, have a father that, not saying, you know, not saying that's just kind of what it was back then. Not saying nothing against those guys who did it or whatever, but, you know, my dad just kind of raised me. I had a two-parent home, you know, and basketball was life. Me and my parents are, you know, very close now. I got 5 brothers and sisters. You know, grew up, my mother is one of 18 kids, so I have a really big family.
One of your brothers just came home?
Yeah, one of my brothers just came home from the joint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a really big family. So I'm in Muncie, we about 60,000 people, but we have just a small community of color, blacks, and, you know, people of color, about 10,000 of us. So we all know each other, some kin to each other, or dated each other. So it's just kind of like a small community I've always grew up in, and basketball is kind of life. And, you know, I kind of grew up where, you know, when you get to a certain age, 13, 14, or 15, if you can play some ball, they throw you to the vets, the OGs, the grown people, and that's kind of the way I learned how to play basketball. You know, I could play a little bit, but once I really started learning how to play, they threw me to the vets, and I've been playing with grown men since I was 14 or 15, so basketball was just life for me, and it kind of gave me a pathway to what I'm doing now, and, you know, but just had a great upbringing in terms of community. You know, we had violence just like everybody else, but, you know, we were community-driven where everybody kind of policed themselves and protected each other, so I was just blessed to, you know, to be able to go through the process and just kind of make it through it.
In Muncie, growing up playing basketball, who were your influences? Like, who you looked up to? Who do you pay in the game? Like, I know you told me you looked up to Bimbo Coles, so...
Come on, man. Time out, bro. What is wrong with you?
Where the fuck you get that name from, man?
Oh, what's wrong with you, dude?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Man, you stupid little motherfucker, man. Can we be serious?
Okay, I'm trying, bro.
Right.
I'm trying. Influences.
I mean, you know, you have a lot of inner city influences, but, you know, me growing up, I used to really want to pattern my game after Glenn Big Dog Robinson.
Big Dog, of
you
course.
know, he's an Indiana guy from Gary, Indiana, you know, and he was a legend to us, you know, and he was a guy that I felt like I'm more related to because he was, you know, Gary is a real tough neighborhood, you know, they kind of, you know, hood, and that's somebody I wanted to be like. I mean, he went to Purdue, he was an All-American, he swept all the awards, he won a state championship in Indiana, which was tough back then because we only had one state champion. We don't have class basketball. So he did that.
That's even harder. Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
he went to Purdue, did all the awards, #1 pick, and he had a great career. So that was one of my guys who I really, really, really patterned my game after and just tried to be like. And it's the craziest thing. I never really, really met him off the court. And that's one of the craziest things. Because
Still to this day?
Still to this day. And he's one of my favorite players, ever. I used to wear the high socks like him. I used to try to, we had almost a similar game, coming up.
Big dog. What was your recruitment process like?
Oh, man. I never had the opportunity to go to a basketball camp. I just kind of played ball in my hood. And, back where we're from, you don't really go to camps. You kind of play in hood tournaments. So where we're from is that, you get the best people from your hood and y'all play against the best people from that hood. We're going to meet at this tournament. We're going to play. And it's like, the Rucker Park type joint when everybody's around and you got everybody. So that's the only way I really knew how to play ball. So I'm playing in that when I'm like 14 and 15, playing with the grown men, doing that stuff. So that was kind of, how I got found. So I got recruited by Indiana and Purdue, and I remember, crazy story, Indiana came to recruit me, and that was around the time when Bobby Knight was on his bullshit, and he had to whip out and whip and kick, and all that shit. And I saw him come in, it was like, man, Bonzi, IU, I left the gym. I was like, man, I ain't got no time for this shit. I was like, man, I've been there, kicked your motherfucking ass and been a black ball forever. Cause I know me, I know my daddy and my uncle them, they don't play that shit.
Right.
So I got, IU and Purdue was big. I really wanted to go to Purdue because, like I said, Big Dog was my favorite player, so I was going to go to Purdue. But we had a guy named Ray McCollum. He's from born and raised in my city, went to my high school, went to Ball State, and he was at Wisconsin with Mike Finley and all them guys. Happened to get the job at Ball State, knew my pops and all them, and he was just like, hey, if you come to Ball State, I never recruited at your position. You go to these other schools, they're going to be having the top 50, 100 people. They're going to be recruiting at your spot. He's like, I'll let you flourish, and I'm going to get you to the league. And I was like, cool, and it just worked out. And, when I got there, he started me from day one.
Is that where Jesus Shuttlesworth went?
Who?
Jesus Shuttlesworth?
No, you talking about? No. You crazy, man. What's wrong with y'all?
That wasn't where he went? Off the movie?
No.
What was it called?
It was fictional.
It wasn't Ball State?
No, it wasn't Ball State.
I know, it wasn't a real school. Over a 4-year career, 2,500 points. You were in a heavy draft class, 11th pick in the 98 draft. Yeah. Heavy litter with Vince Carter, Jameson, Paul Pierce, Dirk. Did you get a chance to see any of these guys in workouts?
How did that happen? Please explain.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I was cold as a motherfucker back then.
Yeah, you was.
Nah,
Bonzi was a monster.
Just to be honest, man, playing at Ball State, you kind of get in that mid-major, they tell you really ain't, they kind of put you in that shelf like, you're not, I don't care what your stats is, you're not at a top Division I, so they kind of kept me in a bubble, but it's crazy. This is a true story. As a sophomore, I had a chance of coming out. I was averaging like 25 and a half. I was leading the nation in steals, and this is how, I've never left my city in my whole life until I went pro, so I don't know shit but my city. So a guy came in, this is a true story, he was the general manager for the Pacers. And he came in, and then general manager, in my mind, I'm thinking he that manager to kind of get the bags and do all this shit, don't know nothing about nothing. So he's telling me like, yo, if you come out, I'm pretty sure we're going to pick you. I don't care what pick we get, we're going to pick you. And I'm over here, my coach looking at me hype like, yeah, I'm telling you, and I'm over here looking at him like, I'm thinking he the manager. So I didn't come out, and they ended up, picking like Eric Dampier. They had the lottery pick like a number 11 in 96. So this is that heavy draft in 96 where, the real draft where Cole, that's that draft. So I'm scared to death, so I don't leave. And come to find out, this guy was Billy Knight. I don't know if y'all know Billy Knight. He's big-time exec in the league and all this stuff, but I didn't really know who he was. And he was like, man, the NBA really wants you. And this is really before the internet and all this shit. Wasn't no computers or nothing like that, so I couldn't really see my mock draft history on where I was going to go. So, my senior year, I did about 12 workouts, worked out for teams, met a few dudes that had us against. I ain't see Paul or nobody like that, but I killed them fools everywhere I went. Everywhere I went. And then when Detroit, they picked me at 11, it was just like crazy because I went right after Paul Pierce. You know what Paul has did with his career, but just where I'm from and that heavy draft, I was just blessed.
First impression of Portland and that team?
Damn. Man, that team was wild. Like I remember my first day, when I got traded, because I got drafted by Detroit. So I'm supposed to be hanging with Joe Dumars and Grant Hill them. So, my experience was supposed to be totally different, so.
That's night and day.
So now I go out to Portland. I remember I worked out Grant right before I got traded. And I'm like, dang, I'm about to be on some Grant stuff. We about to be square and straight lace. And then next thing I got traded to Portland. And I remember I couldn't practice for like the first day. And I'm looking in there, I'm seeing J.R. Ryder, Rasheed, Jermaine, Damon Stoudemire, Sabonis, all the who's who, Stacey Augmon, Walt Williams. And I remember sitting there literally, I was nervous, scared, because I'm like, these are the who's who of basketball. And I'm like, damn. I'm just saying to myself, like, man, I ain't gonna never play. I just remember saying to myself, I ain't gonna never play because these guys are established pros. Jimmy Jackson at the 2. I gotta go. J.R. Ryder, Jimmy Jackson at the 2. You got Damon Stoudemire, Gary Grant at the point. Greg Anthony at the point. Walt Williams, Stacey Augmon at the 3. Rasheed and Brian Grant at the 4. Sabonis and Jermaine O'Neal at the 5. So these are like real names. So I'm just sitting back in this mug like, man, I don't know if I'm ever gonna play. But once I got in there and got my feet wet a little bit and I realized I can get down with them a little bit, after about a month or 2, I got my confidence together.
Welcome to Fresh Ball Fall. It's a season of pumpkin spice and making sure your crotch looks nice. That means sipping cider in the fall breeze and using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. That's right, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, a company here to make sure all your foliage isn't the only thing shedding its excess leaves. Heck, even Mother Nature knows it's time to lose excess clutter for the fall. Whether you're brand new or already with us at Manscaped, you can use the crown jewel to take care of your family jewels. The Platinum Package 4.0. With this glorious package, you can align all your entire hygiene routines with one swoop. Inside the 10-part Platinum Package is everything you need to know and love about the Performance Package. Plus some shower goodies included to elevate your grooming game to platinum. The Lawnmower 4.0 Body Trimmer and Weed Whacker Nose and Ear Hair Trimmers feature proprietary skin-safe technology to protect the delicate parts and holes. Both are waterproof so you can keep scaping even as the weather's changing. In addition to shaving, you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. It'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Don't forget to apply their aluminum-free Ultra Premium deodorant. And don't worry, it's not pumpkin spice, it's cologne quality fragrance. But we shouldn't save our signature scent for our pits. Use the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner to make sure your go-to smell is top shelf and not sweaty balls. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Platinum Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and Shed Travel Bag, both specially made to hold your goodies. Get the Platinum Package this fall. These products are guaranteed to be hits for your dangly bits. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SMOKE. Only at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code SMOKE. Manscaped has cleared out the leaves, and it's time for your tree trunk to shine. Man, we're here live from the beautiful All the Smoke Legends Suite inside the Wynn Hotel. Here with my brother Steven Jackson out here in Vegas, and this will be the first of many collaborations with the Legends team. A former teammate of mine, Spencer Haas, when I played with the Clippers, he always used to have these dope weed socks. And I was like, yo, who'd you get these socks from? He's like, oh, my homeboys out in Manhattan Beach. So they started sending me socks. I went out there and met them. They told me they were starting an athleisure line and started showing me some of the stuff. I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. So, we started talking and became business partners, and it's been a great partnership and experience ever since. I mean, the Legends brand is just very comfortable. It's clean, it's modern, it fits well.
I like that tight fit, the sport wear fit, and also it got swag to it. So I think it cover all bases. That's why a lot of people like it. It has the fit and the swag to it, and you can wear it in all occasions.
You see the whole LA Clippers teams not rocking what the NBA sent, but rocking Legends. It speaks to the culture, it speaks to athletes, it speaks to everyday 9-to-5 hardworking people.
This week wouldn't have been what it should have been without Legends, without the suite, without just the love. The vibe that they created here is what we needed to be successful. This is the vibe that we have in our studios. For Legends to come in there and recreate that here in Vegas, it's been awesome, man.
Well, man, thank you first and foremost to Legends and the All the Smoke collab on behalf of myself and my partner right here.
Talk about Sheed. I know y'all super close. Y'all are partners in the media space as well. What Sheed mean to you?
Everything. That's my brother, man. And he's been everything to me. I know we play around and all that stuff, but people don't understand Sheed's heart and the type of person he is in real life. We all get a bad rap, from the Portland bullshit and all the stuff they try to put on us, but in real life, we real good peoples, and Sheed is an even better person than I could ever want to be because he's a true friend. You know what I mean? Anytime I've ever needed somebody to talk to, somebody to check me and all that stuff, I can call Sheed. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a blessing to have him to kind of help me in my journey. you know what I'm saying, be a big brother, somebody I really can almost bow down to, you know, a little bit in terms of, you know what I'm saying, because I could be Brody and all that stuff. It's cool to have a big brother because I don't have one.
Yeah.
So, you know, Sheed has been great for me. And, you know, when I went on this journey with the HBCU, you know, people don't understand this, that Sheed was supposed to be the head coach at the HBCU. But Penny came in last minute and brought him over to Memphis. And he was like, hey, let's just live together. We're going to help each other. So we live together down in Memphis. Just been helping each other, mentor, and that's just what big bros do, man. And, you know, just to see what he does and, you know, the type of person he really is, and, you know, all the stuff he does behind the scenes. People don't know. Credit all the stuff he does behind the scene, man. Just to see that, you know, it's inspirational for me and just kind of keeps me going, you know, and all that good stuff.
Year 2 in Portland, you played big minutes in the playoffs. We was talking about this yesterday. Like, you was going at Cole. What was that series like?
Man, that's a piece of code, man. Like, you know, man, I was new. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know what the
Hungry.
moment. I didn't know the moment. You know, I'm still my first time really playing, and I was just, you know, I was competitive. So, you know, Kobe, even though he was Kobe, he was still a young boy to me. He was younger. So you know how it go. You ain't gonna let no young boy get off. But I'm just not going to, I mean, I guarded him well. You know, we competed well. I competed well against him, but we had great team defense. People don't understand the importance of team defense.
Right.
They don't understand the importance of who was behind me telling me to push him here and push him there. I got Scottie Pippen telling me Rasheed, Wallace are two of the best defenders. Then I got Willie Sabonis, who's almost a real giant in real life, protecting the rim. So don't get me wrong. I chested him and kind of kept him at bay, but, you know, it was a total team effort because, you know, guys like him is unstoppable. You know, I know the drill with him. You know, once he get to going, and this was Afro Kobe. You know, he was,
number 8.
You know, this is when he was uber
Put it in the basket.
Uber athletic, right leg, you know, fades and all that, and you know, but you know, just being able to compete with him was a blessing. And you know, one of my biggest regrets, you know, since he's been gone, is that I never got to know him off the court. You know, I only know him as a competitor, and you know, I prayed to him a lot, you know, and stuff, and, you know, just talk to him in my own way like we all do. You know, but that's one of my biggest regrets in basketball. But, you know, back then, you know, wasn't no friends off the court. Once we competed, we ain't working out with each other, we ain't hanging, none of that stuff. We ain't cool. I'll see you post-career, but we ain't working out. I don't want you to see my sauce. I don't want you, you know, vice versa.
None of that.
But yeah, that was one of my biggest regrets that I didn't get a chance to. And when I see other interviews and all the stuff, I was blessed to do the stuff. I just get chills because, you know, he was just such a great, you know, person, human being, and he meant so much to so many.
Yeah.
We was talking to Sheed yesterday, and we asked him what was his point of view from that lob that Kobe threw Shaq against y'all when he dunked on the whole organization.
That's the word?
That's how it looked.
When I look at it, I get mad because I was supposed to be in guarding Kobe. And Dunleavy kind of switched the whole script up in the fourth quarter and kind of went with the vets. See, I was on Kobe. He would never had no room to cross. You know, if you ever go back and watch the tape, I don't even think he did a move like that against me because I wasn't going. So when he switched it up, I think about it like that. Like, I would never let that happen. But when you see it, that just changed everything. And if y'all be honest, we could have easily won those championships, and our whole trajectory in our lives could have been totally different. You know what I mean? Like, championships validate everything.
That's one of the best teams never to win it.
Yeah.
No question.
And if you ask Shaq, and, you know, I think Kobe might have said this, that they were just happy to get past us because that
was the finals.
We was wearing their ass out because we had so many good players. And don't get me wrong, they had some great role players. I hate to call them role players because we know how tough it is to be in the league and a role player will bust your ass. But league standard wise, they role players always hurt you, you know, and you know, you got the Robert Ory's and the Brian Shaws and the D Fishers, obviously, as we know, and the Devin Georges and those guys, they hit big shots in big moments, but we could have easily won a championship, and we could be having a totally different conversation right now.
What do you feel? Was it them? Was it the Western Conference? How come you feel you guys never really got over the hump with those great Portland teams?
This is my conspiracy theory, and we all talk about it, but you know, the league is about money. And, you know, would you have to have a Western Conference team in a small market like Portland? Or would you have the glitz and glamour of a team like L.A. in the finals every year with two of the most marketable guys in the history of the league? You know, it don't make, you know, we thought we thugs, we the JailBlazers. We the guys that, man, listen, they gonna steal your purse. You better hold it tight if they walk past you. That's how they portrayed us. And, you know, the craziest thing is that when you get portrayed like that, that stain is something that can never come off of you. That's what I've dealt with my whole career. And, you know, to be honest, I took most of the blunt of the stuff, and I was the one who never really did shit. You know,
we talked to Sheed about that yesterday. You know, when the media, you know, labeled you guys the JailBlazers, and she said like literally none of us have ever been to jail, but it was just a time where they said it stuck, and you guys didn't have a platform to respond or to tell your side of the story. But like you said, I mean, that shit stuck with you your entire career. You feel like.
Yeah, and that's why we started Let's Get Technical, you know, and I appreciate my brother Stack, man. You know, when we all first got in this space, man, him used to talk a lot. I remember he first started, and he was like, man, it's time for us to tell our story.
Man.
He was like, man, there's a lot more motherfuckers out there like us than it is like them.
No question.
He used to say it to me all the time. He was like, man, people relate to you, Bonzi. You just got to start telling your story, because I was never a guy to be talking and shit. I was never in the media. You probably got no quotes from me, because I was just a hooper. I just wanted to hoop. And he was like, you need to get into it. I was kind of like, nah. So I watched him move. And then he finally gave me the confidence to do it, man. Talk shit into doing it. And this
You came to New York. So
when I came to New York and saw y'all, I said, man, this is what y'all do. And it motivated me so much to do it. And I called Sheed when I left there, and I was so hyped, and he must have heard in my voice, and he agreed to it after about 2 years of saying no. And, you know, so after about 2 years of saying no, but he, you know, and then it's been, as y'all know, it's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? We get our own narrative out there. We can talk our shit. You know, people get to know us for the human side instead of just the villain that they portrayed us to be. And because, you know, when people don't know you, perception is their reality. You know what I'm saying? So people only hear reading Associated Presses of quotes of shit we done did and the texts and all the bullshit.
Made up shit.
And people don't understand. We just competitive. We're going to get texts because we really want to win. You know what I'm saying? That text shit, as you know, y'all have seen the refs be cheating and all that dumb shit. So a lot of that shit was fluff anyway. But for the most part, we was fighting for the name, obviously, on the front of our jerseys, but we represent the name on the back of our jerseys the most part, you know, because family mean everything to us. And so they just kind of had us twisted, but I'm just glad we did this, and you got, y'all brothers, you know, you gave me the confidence and to see y'all just to kind of put our own narrative out there now.
No, I think it's beautiful. I mean, for forever, it's been other people telling our stories.
Yeah,
they don't have
100%.
nothing to do, so... when you think back on your run, your first 5 years in Portland, I mean, Western Conference Finals, set a franchise record at the time, 45 points in 2003. What's your fondest memory of that run and your experience, whether it be on or off the court?
Man, I mean, on the court is basketball, but just off the court, you know, if you knew us off the court, man, like, we were so crew thick.
Brothers,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, anywhere we go, we 10, 11, 12 deep. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, Stack, you know, he'll tell a funny story, but we ain't got to tell it, you know.
Who you had 45 on?
Y'all, if you was in shit.
It wasn't me.
Shit.
It wasn't me. I just want to know who you had 45 on.
It was a playoff game, too.
Ooh, who was that?
Dallas, man. You know, Dallas, somewhere in your state, y'all, Kmart State, you know, Kmart's town, you know, Oak Cliff boys was in the building, you know, hype.
45?
Yeah, 45, man. We was, they beat us in 7 games, but Dirk had 46 in game 1, had 45 in game 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And then kind of what helped us a lot, that JailBlazers rep was kind of like the best bodyguard we could ever have, too. Because shit, we walked around motherfuckers, they go to JailBlazers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
leave them motherfuckers alone.
So, you know, kind of that helped a lot, too. And if you know us in real life, you know we ain't on that bullshit. We ain't playing with you. You know, you're going to be able to handle us with no shit like that.
But y'all had some people on that team that was not to be played with. Brian Grant.
Yeah.
Some real ones.
You can't handle us now. Like, if you handle us, you know, it's going to be a problem. But we ain't never get pushed to that extent officially. You know, it has some unofficial stuff that people don't know about, but
but it was just really the look. It wasn't really, you know, what people really knew about y'all was what the media painted at all times.
After Portland, you make a few different stops: Memphis, Sacramento, Houston, New Orleans. Play really well, and with all those teams.
He did.
What was your? From what I remember, Bonzi was a motherfucking monster. You can talk all the shit you want, but
I'm just trying to make sure we talk about the right person.
What do you remember about that the last half of your career?
Man, I started traveling around a little bit, and I remember the first time, you know, getting away from, you know, Portland, I went to Memphis. I wasn't even trying to be cool with none of them dudes, because I'm so Portland, I'm over here like, man, y'all know Shane Battier, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Pau Gasol, you know what I'm saying? I don't even really, you know, before I met him, I'm like, man, I don't even really fuck with y'all dudes like that. So then, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, they got my boy Ren, man. Rest in peace, my boy Lorenzen Wright. You know, that was one of him and Posey, James Posey, one of the first 2, Earl Watson. Them was one of the first 3 dudes I started fucking with.
We just seen Big Head Earl last night.
So I'm messing with them dudes, and coming to find out, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, is one of the funniest and the coolest
white boys
in the history of white boys, man. Listen, in the history of white boys, Jason Williams, I mean, he's funny.
He literally just texted me this morning. He said, I'm being SoCal, let's put one in the air. Like, literally this morning, like before I was even up.
The funniest motherfucker in the world. He'll tell you a 5-minute joke, and he'll do magic tricks. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he got a country-ass accent, so when he listens to him, he listens to Randy Moss.
And he a chain smoker.
Yeah,
like, we went golfing one day. 18 holes, this motherfucker smoked 12 blunts.
At least.
I said, holy shit, Jay Will.
Awesome.
And was still nice at golf, though, too.
Yeah.
Listen,
nice
man,
as fuck.
Way to feel good.
Great dude. So, yeah, so when I got there, so Memphis was a good stop for me, man, because Memphis was my first chance to kind of branching out a little bit. But when I really had a great stop at was in Houston. Houston, my first time being in a city where you got more than just we the only game in town. Portland, we the only game in town. Memphis, we the only game in town. Sac, we was the only game in town. So now I'm in Houston. I linked up with my boys, Big 50 down there. He kind of run the city, kind of put me on to everything, and kind of just let me move around a little bit. So I'm at the concerts, baseball games, football games, and all the lit parties and all this shit. We wasn't doing this in Portland, so Houston was probably one of my best stops.
You had a list of real good coaches: Dunleavy, Hubie Brown, Van Gundy, Adelman. Any of those guys your favorite, or who did you feel like you really picked stuff up from?
Man, I know who I don't fuck with.
I like to hear that too.
That's Fratello.
Mike Fratello.
Yeah,
he was in Memphis?
Yeah, he an asshole. Him and Jeff Van Gundy like assholes, you know what I'm saying, in real life, you know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, they can coach their ass off, but in real life, they some assholes. And I don't care about saying that shit, but...
It's all the smoke. You talk your shit here.
But I really liked the way Hubie Brown was all about. Because Hubie Brown...
He's solid.
Because he'd look in your eye like because... I loved him because he'd come up to us and he used to point at me and Jay Will and all the guys. And he from the old school, so he don't know nothing about smoking weed. He called us the coke and freebase guys. So he was like, man, this dude
was on the powder?
They on coke because he'd be thinking we back in the day. He thinking we on that. That's the only thing. So he was the coke and freebase crew. Me, Pose, he don't even know Pose, them don't even smoke. But he just thought we all crewed up. So like, yeah, y'all don't hang with them. Them the coke and freebase guys. He's so funny and shit because he just old school talking shit, but he was just a real one. He used to come to us every day. He's like, listen, I got about 9 of you motherfuckers that can play, and Pau Gasol is our man. Y'all gonna play 6 minutes on, 6 minutes off. I don't give a fuck who starts. And we did that shit my first year in Memphis. And we, and it wasn't like hard practice. It was just consistent stuff every day. And I learned so much about the game in terms of execution, being consistent. And Hubie was just a teacher. He was teaching us like a motherfucker. And I was, I'm coming off Portland and shit. And, Portland was wild and motherfucker. And I really had to sit down and learn the game. So he taught me so much about the game. And like I said, Jeff Van Gundy's a great coach too. He know the game. If he wrote a thesis on the game of basketball,
he was good.
A fucking plus, he'd get it. But, just being cool and trying to teach the game, you'll look at him like, no, I'm straight, man, because you ain't even no type of motherfucker I want to learn from. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just being the mindset. It's just reality. You know what I'm saying? But he know the
game.
But if he give you that game, that playbook before the year, that mother was this
heavy.
It was this thick.
We had that shit in Orlando.
You ever wrote a thesis in your life?
I know somebody who did for me. What about you?
You know damn well I don't even know what it is. That's why I'm trying to
I'm a college graduate, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Talk
asking.
to him.
That's why I'm asking.
No, that's dumb motherfucker.
On a serious note, me and you were on Big 3 time. We were really talking about getting in shape and doing a lot of things together and also playing the game. But while we were playing, you went through some real stuff. You suffered a heart attack. And, it really fucked me up because, you're my real friend. And you was going through a lot at the time. And then we didn't know, you really wasn't telling us. You know what I'm saying? We had to find out, when you had really was in the hospital and everything that went down. But talk about going through that, bro, and staying strong through all that and, trying to figure out what was next. Because, I mean, that's really what you was going through that whole time. We was trying to figure out what was next for all of us.
Yeah, man. Hold on 1 second, bro. It's tough times, bro.
I know.
It's tough. Hold on 1 second.
Take your time.
Yeah, man, I can't believe y'all would ever see me out here crying, huh?
Shit, we was crying together.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, bro.
Gotta take your time, bro.
I mean, that's the mode we was in the whole time. That's all we could do.
All right, I'm ready, my fault. But yeah, man, it was a tough time, man, for, myself, my family. When you go through something like that, us, we can feel invincible at times. You feel like you realize you're not invincible.
Right.
And in that moment, think about your children, parents, your brothers and sisters, family, everybody. I just remember when I was kind of going through it, and I fell out of my house. My son found me. Was able to get me to the hospital. See his face crying, brokenhearted. Killed me even more than the pain I was going through. That's my baby. That's my son. He's 22 years old, but I saw him as a baby. And, this it was tough. This changed my life forever. Because, I love different now. I'm not afraid to tell somebody I love them now. I'm not afraid to be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was more reserved and laid back. I'm pouring to people now. Pouring to them in different ways. Me and Stack joke and play, but that's the way we pour into each other.
Yes, love.
And, I just do that more now than anything. Because life's too short. I know it now. I was 40 years old. It's 5 days from my birthday. And just kind of, as you go through stuff like that, man, just be thankful for every day. With this HBCU stuff came around, it was God, just working in my life. And this stuff that's been stacking them for me ever since. And, I appreciate guys like yourself, Kmart, and all my brothers who always keep me encouraged and always check in on me and all that shit. And I never even played with these dudes, you know what I'm saying? But they just know we real ones, and we just clicked up, and I just appreciate, everything. But, when you go through that, you just, you know who loves you for real, too. You learn a lot about people. And there's some people that'll send you a vanilla text and like, you okay, but there's some people that really make sure you okay, right. And, I just really appreciate my children around that time, just, being there. I'm just, just every day I try to be a good dad. I try to be a present dad best I possibly can, and I try to be even better son to my father and my, because, my parents are getting older, and so I try to spend more time with them and understand what's most important. And, fuck this hoop shit, fuck the money and all that bullshit. Family is and memories is the only thing that's important to me now. And, and that's what I try to do. And I know this basketball keeps me away from my family and back in Indiana or whatever, but I know God got me on a mission to touch more than just my family. And that's just what I'm doing. So I'm thankful for every day. And, I just, like I said, I don't take it for granted.
Thank you for sharing that with us. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Deflog your glasses.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Favorite part about retirement and hardest part about transitioning from something you've done your entire life into that next phase of your life?
Man, when I think about my career, I wasn't blessed enough, like I said, rest in peace, Kobe, to have the Kobe farewell tour, where everybody was, this is my last year, hey, I'm about done, this is my last year. I kind of, in my mind, got kicked out the league a little bit, so it was a little different. I remember I'm after year 10, I'm just fresh off averaging 25 in the playoffs. So now I can't even get a job as the 15th man. So, that do a lot on your psyche, and, I didn't know it. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize what I was going through mentally. And people don't really understand how much we really go through when the cheering stops. You know what I'm saying? People don't truly understand what we go through, because that's all we used to is rocking the crowds and hooping and doing this and that. And, I'm 32 years old, 33, and I'm knowing I still got a little bit of action still in me. You know what I mean? I couldn't get a job. I couldn't play. And, I ended up fucking going to China. No disrespect to China, but it's like 2009. I'm like one of the first real tenure NBA players to go to China. And it's serious over there, but I'm over here shitty. I'm averaging like 40. I'm shitty because I can't, and I'm a league dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to come back here, so, that was tough for me. So, between 2009 and 2014, I don't even really remember that shit, because, I was going through it so much mentally. I remember around that time, I was just partying. I was out the league, I was partying. I was gambling every day. I was chasing. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up losing my woman, my kids, all that shit goes when you're out the league and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was just going through all that bullshit. And I just remember just having a dark day. And I probably needed to talk to somebody. We all, but we too brody to talk to people. And I just remember, and I just really appreciate him. I hug him every time I see him. It was like 2014, and I'm sitting back, and I was having a pity party for myself, and I ended up watching Iverson that had a doc. And he was talking about what he was going through in 2009 when the phone stopped ringing and he was going through all this shit. And I just remember just start crying like a motherfucker. And I was like, damn, it wasn't just me. And I didn't have his number, but I wanted to reach out to him, and it kind of helped me snap out of it and kind of just get on with my life, you know what I'm saying? And that was just, helped me tremendously, which I probably needed to talk to somebody, but I just appreciate that documentary when I watched it. And I just saw shit, I'm having a pity party like it's just me. Right. But I wasn't thankful for all the stuff God had already given me, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here worried about the stuff that, but I was, I'm from the hood, I ain't never had nothing. My family's huge. I was able to put my brothers and sisters through college, buy my parents' homes, do all the shit that we do. So I didn't think about those blessings. I was worried about the other shit. So I kind of snapped out of it and started moving on with my life. So started volunteering more, became a volunteer coach, volunteered at a high school about an hour and a half from me every single day. For 5 years, I was driving an hour and a half every day. Stack could tell you, every day, just kind of just pouring into the kids. Like, man, that's what I'm going to do. I don't care. People laughing. You can go. I'm like, man,
We'll wake up early, like 5, 6 in the morning, get on the game. By the time it's 8, 7 o'clock, you got to drive an hour to school. Every morning.
So I'm doing that, and I just want to do this to make sure I love this shit, because I don't do it for fame, I don't do it for clout. And that's why I love the HBCU route I'm going, because if you see where we're at, this is it's tough. HBCU, I'm from Indiana. We don't know shit about HBCUs there. We don't have any. So when I got, I've always been a guy, support HBCUs and all that shit, but now I see it. They got to support HBCUs for real, not just in shirts and all that type of stuff, not just support the big ones. There's a lot of small ones out there that people don't understand that $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 will float their whole program. I get all type of stuff. Like at all our schools we've been through, a lot of buildings from the 50s and 60s, we don't even have no new facilities.
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna come to optic-wise, nobody's gonna come to your school optic-wise, because these other big schools got all the glitz and glamour, it's easy to go there. So it makes it so tough to stay consistent, bringing in money and bringing in top talent. So when I see these people, donating tens and 20, 100 million, whatever to these top schools, I'm like, man, if y'all just broke down $1 million into 10 little small schools, man, y'all just don't even understand what that would do. So that's why I just be trying to I watch Deion every single day. I watch his quotes, I watch how he move, and I'm like, let's just do that on the basketball side. Let's do everything we can. I know I'm at a D2, but I represent all the HBCUs, and I just be trying to do what I can. And when I was doing this showcase, like I said, I got emotional just kind of seeing these young fellas I'm looking at all these tags and these different names of these teams that's looking at these kids and walking around. I'm like, damn.
That's big.
I did these, we did this for these young fellas, and this only getting to the beginning. So, I'm so excited about how I'm moving right now.
Even I went to the game, dog, and just for the players to see our relationship. When I was able to go in the locker room and go, they was in awe, because y'all see how we talk to each other. But they was in awe to see us that cool, you know what I mean? And then I was able to talk to them, and a lot of stuff I had going on. It was the perfect time to come talk to them kids, you know what I'm saying? So just to see the effect he having on all those players, and even other kids on the other teams was coming to talk to him after the game. That's what they need. They need players like us that done it to show up and show them that, you know what I'm saying, we here to help y'all get us so y'all won't have to go through the shit we went through.
I mean, your journey, well documented. You opened up about your struggles. What would you tell a younger player about someone that's stepping into the journey we've all taken?
I mean, I know I was ear hustling earlier, but you gotta listen, man. You gotta really listen and stay humble. Like I tell my kids all the time, I don't care how high or low, how high you get, you gotta stay humble, because we all seen this shit go from 0 to 100, but we always see them go from 100 to 0.
Quick.
And we've all pumped our chest out a little bit one day, and then bad shit happened to us the next moment. So I tell these kids, stay humble and just work. I do a little dumb shit, get shirts made and all that shit with all my little one-liners and quotes, and I wear them in practice, and I post them online and shit, because that's just the reality of this shit. Because, we all know somebody out there working a little bit harder than us or trying to get our job or our spot or whatever the fuck we got going on. So I just tell our guys to stay humble and work.
Who and what got you into coaching?
We all coaches in real life. We got kids. You're going to coach AAU. You're going to do stuff. I got 5 sons. So, I've always
Shout out G. That's my boy.
Yeah, so I've always been a AAU dad. A dad is, and then when we hoop, you come back, you run your camps. You're always kind of in the gym. But just like I said, I just wanted to just start volunteering to make sure I love it. And it just became a process. I did it, almost 5 years. And when this opportunity came, I just prayed on it. And I just keep.
I remember talking about it.
Yeah, I was on the fence. So I'm just, people don't, I'm not overly spiritual, but my grandfather was a pastor, so I'm a real deep in church family, but I really believe in the power of prayer, and I just let God work in my life, and he's been working.
Give me 5 dinner guests, dead or alive.
I'm family oriented, see. I want my uncle, my cousin, she passed, my cousin Debbie, my uncle Marvell, my grandfather, all them people I can't get back. See, I would love to talk to some people that I don't know, but I would love to,
Family first.
Family is everything for me.
Yeah, dig.
Album you can listen to with no skips.
No skips? How many picks I get?
However you want. Give us 3 of them.
Damn, A Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z for sure.
Should have went triple.
I'm a huge MJG, baseball MJG fan. So I'm a huge, dang, what's that Space Age Pimpin' CD. And then I'm a huge, I got between UGK and Ghetto Boys, you know, that Resurrection Ghetto Boys. I'm a huge Ghetto Boys fan. Shout out to Scarface. You know, he one of the first dudes to pick me up when I got to Houston to show me around.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Shout out Scarface.
Yeah, and I'm a huge UGK fan, you know, rest in peace, Pimp. But I just, you know, we're from the Midwest, so we don't really have a sound like that. We have, up in Michigan, you know, they have their sound and stuff, but we don't, Twista and them in Chicago, but in Indiana, we don't have a sound, so we flirt with everything. So those are some of my favorites.
First thing you do when you wake up, last thing you do before you go to bed.
And I'm gonna get up and pray for sure. I'm gonna get up and talk to God before I get. But then at my age, I stretch. I gotta stretch, because I still get out there with the kids. You know what I'm saying? They be talking that fly shit, and I be trying to get, let them know I still got some action. I ain't moving too bad. I'm just giving a little ass, but that stuff still is real. So I stretch a lot, and really, I try to go golf. That's one of the first things I'm trying to do. I golf every single day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, golf changed my life. Golf got me in a whole nother world, got me around different people. When I used to come home in the summertime, I'm in the hood. We over there shooting dice, they over there, we doing all the fuck shit. So now when I come home now, I'm on the golf course trying to play 36 holes, so it kind of weeded out. Some of my friends, like I see them in the shorter term instead of, seeing them all day. But, golf is therapeutic too. Kind of got to clear your mind, you hit the ball. I've been playing 20 years, so I done got pretty good. So, people don't expect me to be good, so I always kind of play. I hate I'm telling people now, but I always kind of play like I'm no good and kind of bust their ass.
I don't even know the rules, but I got to hear how good he is daily, and I don't even know the rules. I'm tired of hearing that shit. If you could have one guest on All the Smoke, who would it be? But you have to help us get your answer on the show.
Sure, I mean, I haven't had Jay-Z, have you?
You don't know Hov. Stop
I don't know Hov, but we can...
It got to be somebody, you hear? I just said it got to be somebody you know.
We done shook Hov's hand before, so we can't act like he don't know us. So you talking about we can't reach out to Hov and he ain't gonna say, what's up, Bonzi? What's up, Stack and Matt? The fuck?
Can I ask you the question again?
Go ahead. I'm just saying. Who can I help you get?
Can I ask you the question again?
Go ahead. Because you gotta, you speak with a list.
Well, can I ask you a question again?
You speak with a list.
You country motherfucker, I don't be know what you be saying all the time. Go ahead.
If you had a guest, if you could see a guest on the show, motherfucker.
See with my eyes.
Yes, them two, yeah. If you could see somebody on the show, who would it be? But you have to get them on the show.
I would have to call them.
Yes, nigga.
I think I really, and I'm all about brotherhood. I really need to get Damon on here, Stotty.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse.
I need to get Stotty on here.
Yes, that's a good call.
Stotty, man, Stotty, I really appreciate him all year long. He kind of helped me in my process, man. He talked to me about a coach, and if you ever talk to Dame, he's real, laid back. He talks slow, man, got the, how Dame is, and I'm just proud of him. He's doing big things. He just, they got beat in the finals in Boston, but they were there, and he's doing his thing. But Damon will be a great guest, and I can definitely call him right now and get him on.
You know him. I know you know him.
He's out here right now. He can get here tomorrow.
Oh,
okay. All right, cool. We need that love.
Got you.
Package for you, man. Why don't you go and tell them what that is?
Yeah, man. This is Legends and All the Smoke collab. So this is for you.
Thank you, my brothers. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you, man.
Normally don't do that and make 6Xs, but we got you a 6X wife beater in there and a nice little bikini for you.
Don't hate me.
Thong or not?
You see, I hate him. He hating because I'm a power guard. So they don't make people like me no more. They don't make power guards no more, man. Everybody finesse and shit. Yeah, man. Could you imagine me in today's game?
Oh, it'd be all bad.
No. Man,
be
please,
punishing.
man. They couldn't play Draymond Green at the center in the game with us.
No. It couldn't
I love Draymond, though.
We all love him, but
my
back
goodness,
then,
love him to death.
Different animal.
Yeah.
Well, Bonzi, man, we want to thank you for coming through and
I
sharing
told y'all
your
this was gonna be one of
story.
the worst episodes we had.
But to really open up and be vulnerable, all bullshit aside, man, we appreciate you. We love what you're doing, man. Beautiful things. Like you said, it's a mission now. You love different, so we love to hear that, and we appreciate that, man. So thank you,
Thank you, man.
for your time.
Love you, bro.
Good luck with everything, man.
Appreciate you, my boy.
You can catch this Bonzi Wells episode on Showtime, basketball, and the iHeart platform Black Effects. We'll see y'all next week.
All Hail Sunday. The NFL on CBS is back with a crazy talented crop of QBs out west, possible MVPs in the East, and matchups to remember. Sundays, the NFL is on CBS.